There are days when we feel exhausted, not because life is so harsh, but because we cling onto the pain, trying to hold on to something that is no longer ours. Have you ever asked yourself, is what you call loss truly an end, or just a door leading to an entirely new beginning? You are at Insightful Journey, and I am Tue An, your companion on this path. I have a friend named Hung. Hung was a talented architect who dedicated 15 years of his youth to the largest firm in the city. Stable job, high income, a small, peaceful home. Hung always believed his life was perfectly framed. Everything collapsed one Friday afternoon. He received a white envelope containing a termination notice. The company was restructuring, and Hung's name was on the list. Hung recounted that in that moment, the air seemed to be sucked out of the room. He only managed to ask, "What is the reason?" and received the cold reply, "It's nothing you did wrong. It's purely a business decision." For the next 3 months, Hung spiraled into crisis. He locked himself in, refusing all calls and encouragement. The feeling of being discarded was more painful than the financial worry. He felt useless, betrayed, stripped of the identity he had built his whole life. He stared at the wall, screaming internally, "Why me? What did I do wrong?" Hung's wife, a quiet but strong woman, didn't say much. One day she placed a notebook in front of him, filled with sketches of the small wooden furniture pieces Hung used to make for her and their child. She simply said, "These are the things you make with love, Hung. They were never a business decision for anyone." That single sentence was a powerful push. Hung suddenly realized what he was grieving was not the job itself, but the ego built upon a title and a security handed to him by others. That painful loss forced him to look deep inside, at the passion buried under the weight of stability. And from that realization, a small handcrafted wood workshop called Reconstruction was born. Humans suffer not because they lose something, but because they refuse to accept that everything in this world is inherently impermanent. All things are phenomena that come and go, and we fundamentally cannot possess anything forever, not even a job or a relationship. The pain of loss is in fact the conflict between the impermanent reality and our own stubborn attachment. But there is a truth few dare to accept. We are not hurt by the shock itself, but by our rigid insistence on labeling a gift from the universe, meant to push us out of our stale comfort zone, as a failure. Psychologically, the shock of loss triggers a series of survival reactions: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. In Hung's case, the pain didn't come from losing income, but from the loss of control and the loss of identity. His 15 years were defined by that title, that company. When the title was stripped away, he felt like a nobody. We often make the mistake of attaching our self-worth to external things. When we believe, "I am successful because I have this job," then when the job disappears, our self-worth also vanishes. This creates immense psychological stress. The goal of true healing is to separate your core value from things that can change. You are not the job. You are the experience and refinement that made the job possible. In Buddhist philosophy, all phenomena are governed by the law of impermanence. Loss is the most immediate lesson in impermanence. When a door closes, it reminds us, do not cling. Hung's experience is a clear example of releasing attachment. Attachment is not about wishing for no loss. It is the refusal to accept the reality that has already happened. The real suffering is not losing the job, but clinging to the old image of oneself, to that false sense of security. Letting go is not giving up effort. Letting go is relaxing your resistance to reality. Accepting the shock, instead of fighting it, releases a tremendous amount of energy. That energy, instead of being used for suffering, is now used for reconstruction, just like the name of Hung's wood workshop. Every crisis holds a seed of opportunity because it cleanses what is no longer suitable, making space for something new. The greatest pain often contains the greatest opportunity. For Hung, the shock broke through the procrastination protected by safety. If he hadn't lost his job, he would never have had the courage to quit a stable position to pursue his small woodworking dream, his college aspiration. The shock is not a failure. It is a natural force of propulsion. Psychology calls this post-traumatic growth, PTG. When we go through a major event, instead of completely collapsing, we are forced to rearrange our entire system of beliefs, priorities, and values. We are compelled to grow. We learn to trust our own resilience rather than external stability. How to transform pain into opportunity? Following Hung's path and the philosophy of healing. Step 1. Accept the pain mindfully. Buddhism, mindfulness. Practice mindfulness. When the pain comes, anger, anxiety, low self-esteem, don't try to push it away. Sit down, breathe deeply, and name the emotion. I am feeling a sense of loss. I am angry at the injustice. Release the label. Do not label yourself. I am a failure. Simply observe the fact. Job A has ended. The act of separating the emotion from the event is the first step toward liberation. Step 2. Redefine your core value, psychology. Write down 3 values. Write down 3 things that define who you are, that have nothing to do with your job or money. For example, kindness, creativity, ability to learn. Find inner strength. Ask yourself, if I no longer have external things, what still remains within me? Hung's 15 years of experience as an architect gave him the aesthetic eye and management skills for his workshop, even without the old title. Step 3. Convert resistance energy into creative energy. Applied philosophy. Replace why with what now. Don't waste energy asking, why is this happening to me? Instead ask, with my current resources and experience, what good can I create? Take small actions. Start with the smallest, simplest action towards your long-delayed dream. For example, Hung started by sketching his first wooden prototype. Small momentum breaks the vicious cycle of self-doubt and depression. Pain is not a wall. It is a large mirror. It forces you to turn inward, to see the hidden corners, the potential that stability had obscured. Loss is sometimes life's kindest act, because it has freed you from a place where your soul had long stopped growing. Learn to welcome the shock with the serenity of one who understands impermanence. Every major life event is merely a catalyst. The important thing is not what you lost, but how you rediscovered yourself after the shock. You were not born to please the world or to cling to an expired title. You were born to become the most peaceful, most authentic version of yourself. If this video helped you feel a little lighter, please leave a like so I know my effort is worthwhile. Share your thoughts in the comments. I, Tue An, always read every line. Remember, I am still here if you need me.